Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about things I wish I knew before I went to college. I'm currently a senior attending Notre Dame and I have many regrets, so I feel like I'm somewhat qualified to talk about this with you. So I know this year is a little bit different because of coronavirus, but I'm hoping that the things that I talk about today will still be applicable to you guys as you enter your year, and if it's not, then it'll definitely be applicable to the years ahead. So let's get started. Number one, don't be scared and try everything. I think when I was a freshman, I was really scared because this was kind of the first time that I was entering into an environment where I wasn't with my family, where I wasn't with people I knew. It was totally new. I'm from northern New Jersey, so moving to the Midwest was kind of a big deal for me. And I was really scared that, people weren't gonna like me. And I feel like I missed out on a little bit because I was so timid. I thought that I was the only one who was scared, and it made me feel really self-conscious, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I realized that everyone is scared. I remember talking to one of my home friends and she was like, "Oh my god, Lauren, like this person said you look like you're having so much fun," when really I was kind of dying inside because I was so nervous all the time. And I was just really uncomfortable my first semester, my freshman year, and I bet you will be too if you're kind of like me. So if when you go into college, just remember that everyone is new and almost everyone is scared. But I think it's really important that you kind of force yourself to be a bit more enthusiastic than you usually are, to be a bit more social. I think it's easier to leave the clubs that you don't like, to go to an event and be like, "Oh, I wish I didn't come." I think it's a lot better to regret your experiences because you learn from it rather than wishing that you had done something. I feel like college is such a once in a lifetime opportunity for you, and especially as a freshman, you're so young. I feel like I used to hate it when seniors would tell me, "Oh my god, Lauren, you're so young," but I realized each year really gives you some age and experience. Like it really ages you. So I feel like as a freshman, you're straight out of high school, right? So I think really just putting yourself out there and trying everything that you wanted to try, and even things that you didn't want to try, things that just seem a little bit interesting. Go to all those clubs, go to all those events. And I feel like a lot of events, at least in my school, had a lot of free food. And who doesn't love free food? I know I love free food. When your friend asks you to go to a party and you don't really know a lot of people there, say yes. You might meet a lot of people and you might have a lot of fun, and worst comes to worst, you don't have a good time and you go home. I feel like the best case scenario kind of overrides what the worst case scenario could be. And of course, if you're someone who's very comfortable and who's very okay with just, being on your own and not meeting new people, like that's totally fine. Like that's totally, you do you make what you want out of your college experience. But personally for me, I wanted to do so many things and I wanted to meet a lot of new people, but I was just so timid and scared that I feel like I didn't put myself out there as much as I wanted to. Every opportunity that comes at you, if you think that you can gain something from it and that it will make you happier, just do it. And I hope that you do. I know it's hard, I know it's scary, but what have you got to lose? So really just, if you're like me and you're someone who's a little scared but really wants to meet everyone and try new things, just put yourself out there. It'll be scary, but I promise you in the long run it'll be worth it. So the second thing I wish I knew before I went to college was to take ownership of my courses. We're going to talk about a little bit more about academics right now, but I feel like my freshman year I was really dumb. So for us, before our freshman year, we had to talk to our advisor about the courses that we wanted to take, and I was put into all these general requirements, things that were required for everyone in the university or college. So I didn't really get to try out a lot of things that I wanted to. I think this kind of goes back to my first point, but I think it's really important, especially with your courses, since you're mainly going to school. I mean, I think socializing is a really important aspect of college, but your academics, you know, what you graduate with is very important as well. And I'm pretty sure they told us and I just wasn't listening, but I wish I knew that I could change my classes, that I could look up other classes and ask my advisor to put me in something that I was interested in and something that I could explore with, because I spent my sophomore and junior year exploring what I wanted to do, and I wish that I had spent more of my time freshman year exploring, so that my sophomore, junior, and senior year I could focus more on a specific aspect of my studies. And I think that is a regret that I have, because now I'm in a time crunch because I have to fulfill the requirements in my major, and I really do love the classes that I'm taking, but I wish I had more time and more leniency to kind of try out more things, because I changed my major a lot. Like originally I was sociology, but then I was like, oh my god, I kind of like economics. So I did economics, but then I was like, oh my god, I don't like math. So I changed to political science, and then I was like, oh wait, I do like sociology. And then at some point I was a triple major, but now I'm a political science and sociology major with a Korean minor, and I'm really enjoying it. Once you start rising in the years, you're kind of going to be expected to decide on what you want to do, decide on your major, not necessarily what you want to do in the future, but decide on what you want to study. And though everyone's always going to say that you're really young, like you have so much time, I feel like for myself in that moment, I was really stressed because everyone kept on telling me I had time, but you know, weeks and months were passing by and I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I think it is important to try new courses. Just try everything. And if you don't like it, just drop it. I think it's so much easier to figure out what you like after you figured out what you don't like. Let's talk about boys. So, as a freshman, I know a lot of people who dated freshman year and didn't regret it at all. You know, I know people who've learned a lot from it, and I think it's really great. And some of them are even still together. So, I'm not trying to discourage you from dating your freshman year, but I think so. There's this thing called senior scramble, and I don't know if you've heard about it. Honestly, I never heard about it until my friends from home were describing it to me, and I was like, oh my god, that makes sense. So I don't want to like bash on senior guys or anything, but there's a lot of instances where senior guys try to hit on freshman girls, and they're scrambling because it's their senior year, right? They're scrambling to get girls. So this is kind of like their time to shine, because you're fresh, you're new, they're old, so they kind of know how to pull you in. I also think it's kind of weird because as a senior, you're like 21, 22, and you're about to graduate. He's like ready to go and get a job, and you're ready to study. It's just this like weird dynamic. I've seen some great relationships between freshmen and seniors, but like they started dating second semester, you know, after they got to know each other, after they became friends. It's like totally fine. But I just think it's a little weird when it's like the first couple weeks of college and like seniors are coming and like, I don't know, like hitting on you. I just think it's weird. Like you just started college. Like just yeah, it's weird. I just think it's weird. I don't know, like just let her have fun. Let her have fun her freshman year. I feel like guys know that you're vulnerable because you're gonna be like, oh my god, like he's giving me attention. What if he likes me? Don't be fooled. You can do better, I promise you. I don't know, maybe you really like, but you know, if you get to know each other and you like each other, then that's like totally fine. You know, you do you, but I don't know. If you are looking for like a relationship, it just like logistically doesn't really work out either, because he's going to graduate and you don't know where he's going to get his job, and then you're going to be in college, and then it's just the mindset, like he's going to be working and you're going to be studying, and it's just a little different. So if a senior guy comes at you your freshman year and this is like your first couple weeks of college, just like kind of shoo him away and just have fun on your own. Um, I don't know. I can't really tell you what to do, but from my experience, that is what I wish I had done. I feel like a lot of my friends wish they had done that too. But yeah, stay away from creepy guys because there's going to be a lot of them in college. A lot. So the fourth thing that I want to talk about is knowing your limit. I think it's really important, especially because it's really unsafe if you don't know your limit, and especially to you freshman girls, I think it's really important for you to know how much you can drink before you go to college, because I know 21, whatever, but like, come on, let's be real, like you're gonna be drinking as a freshman girl, you're really vulnerable because you're fresh meat. Guys will be looking forward to you. And if you're really drunk and you're really vulnerable, like guys can take advantage of that. And obviously, yes, I know guys need to learn. Like, I shouldn't have to be like telling you this. Guys should be taught to not do gross things and be disgusting. But just because that's not something that I can teach them, I just want to warn you that if you get really drunk at a party, like things can happen. You know, college is scary and you might think that you know everyone around you and whatnot, but you know, you really don't. I realized you really, really don't. And especially if this is your first party, you don't know who your friends are. So if you get really drunk at a party and you need someone to take care of you, you have no guarantee that the people you go with will be bringing you back. So obviously, if anything terrible happens, it's not your fault, but I just want to warn you that you should know how much you can drink before you go. And I've definitely, even for guys, like I've definitely seen a bunch of like freshman dudes throw up everywhere. And honestly, like everyone does it. I feel like everyone throws up at least once in college, but I feel like as a freshman, like if you're that drunk, then things can get a little scary and you don't know who your friends are and you don't know who's going to take care of you and you don't know if there's disgusting people around you that could do terrible things to you. So I just want to warn you to be careful. And if you don't drink, that's totally fine. Don't let anyone peer pressure you into drinking because I think that is like that's your personal preference, you know? Like you don't have to drink at a party. I have a friend who drinks chocolate milk at parties. He brings a little chocolate milk. So I just want to warn you, don't be a little careful, especially at your first couple parties, um, and kind of know how much you can drink so that you don't get too vulnerable. But if anything happens, like know that it's not your fault. So the next couple things I'm going to be talking about aren't really things I wish I knew, but things that I feel like you guys should know um, once you start entering college. So I want to talk about your high school friends. So you're probably going to college without all of your high school friends, and it's scary, right? Like I feel like you don't know if you're going to keep in touch with them, and I think it's really hard, especially if you're the type of person that lives in the moment, then it's hard to keep in touch with your high school friends. But I just want to say that it is totally possible. I'm friends with most of my high school friends, and I'm a senior. It's been 3 years, but every time I come home, I see them and I text a lot of them throughout the school year. So if you want to stay friends with your high school friends, it's definitely possible. But if you don't, then that's totally fine too. If you didn't really vibe with them, you can totally not keep in touch with them. That's totally on you. But just, I feel like a lot of people worry about that. I think it's important to know that you can keep in touch with your high school friends, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're texting them every day of the week. You're not video chatting all the time. It's just meeting up with them when you come home or, you know, checking up on them once in a while. I think if you really value your high school friends, then that's something that's definitely possible. I also want to talk about peer pressure, and I feel like a lot of high schools talk about this with drinking and everything, but I just want to reiterate, do not let anyone peer pressure you into doing anything. I think it's so important to be your own person and to stand your ground. If you don't drink, that's totally fine. Don't let anyone peer pressure you into drinking. I feel like my college is pretty good with that. I've only seen like a couple cases. It's always the guys. Like guys get so aggressive when people don't drink. Like my friend literally got into a fight because he doesn't drink and this one guy came at him and was like, "Why don't you drink?" So stupid. Don't let anyone make you do anything that you don't want to. Especially nowadays with coronavirus, don't let anyone peer pressure you into taking off your mask or going to places that you feel uncomfortable going to because it might jeopardize your safety, it might jeopardize your health. I feel like in college, like nothing is cool. Like you just do what you want to do. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I feel like if you stand your ground and be your own person, there will be people who respect you for that. And if people don't respect you for that, I think it's time to get new friends um, because they should respect your decisions, especially regarding drinking or sex or anything like that. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful to you, and I hope that you'll be able to kind of remember these things and think back when you enter your freshman year. And It's a really exciting time. I'm really excited for you. I'm thinking back to when I was a freshman and wow, it was so scary, but everything was so new and exciting. And now I'm a senior and oh, it's really scary. I don't really want to enter the real world and become a real adult, but I'm so excited for you. I'm getting so fluttery just thinking about my freshman year. Good luck. You'll do great. You'll be amazing. I promise you. You'll make a lot of mistakes, but you learn from it, and that's how you gain experience. And that's how you grow as a person. So, good luck on your freshman year and your college life. And please hit like and subscribe if you like this video. Thank you. Bye.